When you think of diversity, you think of underrepresented groups. And many times we see that the people who lead these programs, such as the one that you're with at Cisco, there's different types of people that work there. One of them being yourself, and being in that field, being a Caucasian man. How did you get into such a crucial role at Cisco? And, can you tell me a little bit about that? How do you deal with it?
Being a white male Southerner in diversity, so over 50, it was really, I think it's an interesting question, and I really am glad you asked it because it is something I think about a fair amount. I mean, first of all, you're kind in your introduction. I am a veteran, and veterans are one of the groups that we recognize in the U.S. as part of our definition of diverse suppliers. It doesn't stand out as much because typically there are more diversity spends and more I guess comprehensive efforts around minority groups and women's groups. But veterans are a viable group and a great sort of, in some ways, undervalued group that definitely can be assisted by getting the types of opportunities and types of coaching that we try to do for our diverse suppliers. I think the other part, and it was really interesting because there are a few of us in my demographic that are in the space, and one of the guys I talked to once said, Bryan, there's not really a career path in supplier diversity. It's really more about passion. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that if it is something where you have passion for it, passion can overcome whatever demographic hurdles that you might feel like you have. Have I ever felt a little awkward being in my demographic where I end up being sort of a minority in the room? Yeah, a little bit, but I'll be honest, most of it is my own narrative, like assuming what somebody is thinking. And very, very rarely is it even a comment that anybody makes. And if they do, it's more like, well, that's interesting, not, and what I would finally say is every one of those rooms I've walked into, every one of those conferences, every one of those, engagements, I never felt unwelcome. Mm-hmm. And I think when we talk about diversity and we talk about it in very honest ways, particularly with the heightened sense of social action that we have today, white males have to be part of this conversation. Not to, hey, the white males are here, we're going to fix everything. But more that there has to be a dialogue and there has to be understanding of what we're really trying to do, because part of it is to socialize and sell this type of program to my own demographic. So I think it's a great question.